Sylvia was 17 the day she left home, wearing her best dress and carrying everything she owned in one bag. Her mother pressed a folded prayer into her palm at the gate. Her youngest sister, Mary, clung to her leg and whispered, "Please come back." Sylvia laughed softly, promised she would, and climbed into her Auntie Gladys's car without looking back. She didn't want them to see that her hands were shaking. The city rose out of nowhere, glass towers piercing the sky, roads swallowing everything, lights burning at noon. Sylvia had never seen so much of anything. Auntie Gladys talked the whole drive, painting pictures of a life Sylvia had only dreamed about. A billionaire employer. A clean room. Real money. Enough money to change your family's life forever. What Sylvia didn't know was that she was already being delivered. Chief Harrison's compound had gates taller than trees and guards who never smiled. Inside, the marble floors reflected Sylvia's face back at her, wide-eyed, small, terrified. The man himself sat in a leather chair like a king receiving tribute. He studied her slowly, the way someone examines something they've purchased. "You are welcome," he said warmly. "I have heard so much about you." He held her hand too long when he shook it. Sylvia told herself she was only nervous. That night, exhausted from her first day of cleaning, she fell into a deep sleep. She didn't hear the door. She felt the hand first, warm, moving slowly across her arm, then her shoulder. She sat up. Chief Harrison stood over her bed in the dark. A guard blocked the doorway behind him, staring forward, seeing everything, doing nothing. "Don't be afraid," he said softly. "Relax. I'll be done soon." Sylvia opened her mouth. No sound came out. Her body forgot how to move. She begged with the only words her voice could manage, "Please, no, please," and he ignored every one of them. When he left, the guard placed money on her bedside table. Sylvia didn't touch it. She sat in the corner of her bed until dawn crept under the curtains, and she understood with cold clarity that the money wasn't payment. It was a message. "You are worth this much. Not more." Auntie Gladys arrived the next morning with gift bags and a glowing smile. She sang greetings, arranged dresses and perfumes on the couch like an offering, and waited. Sylvia burst into tears. "Auntie, I want to go home." The smile didn't break. It just changed, softened into something that looked like pity but felt like contempt. "You should be grateful," Auntie Gladys said quietly. "I chose you because of my sister. Other girls begged for this role." Sylvia stared at her. "You knew." The words sat between them, unsaid. Auntie Gladys leaned closer before she left, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Don't tell your mother. If you speak, Chief will do what he promised. You know what that means." She laughed as she walked out, a light, casual laugh, like she'd finished a business meeting. The door clicked shut. Sylvia sank to the floor and wept until her throat gave out. Her own blood had sold her. Not to a man, but to a routine. The nights became a pattern she stopped fighting. He came. Sometimes with gifts. Sometimes with silence. She learned to send her mind somewhere else, somewhere with open fields and the smell of her mother's cooking, and wait for morning. When she fell pregnant the first time, a private nurse came and took care of it without a word. Sylvia screamed. Nobody came. When it happened again months later, she didn't scream. She just stared at the ceiling and let the tears run sideways into her pillow. She called home every week and told her mother everything was wonderful. "Chief Harrison is a good man," her mother said once. "God will bless him for remembering us." Sylvia pressed her lips together and said, "Yes, Mama." The morning the government vehicles arrived, Sylvia was folding laundry. She heard boots. Commands. Shouting she'd never heard inside those walls. She crept to the top of the stairs and saw men in dark uniforms moving through the compound, guards flat on the floor with their hands raised. One officer looked up and spotted her. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" She backed away. Chief's voice echoed in her skull. "If you tell anyone, I will kill your family." But another officer stepped forward, Sergeant Josh, with calm, steady eyes. He guided her outside into air she hadn't breathed freely in months. The sky was enormous. She had forgotten. "We've been investigating this house," he said quietly. "I can protect you and your family. But I need you to trust me." Sylvia looked at him for a long moment. Then everything she had swallowed for months came up at once, the nights, the nurse, the babies, her auntie's laugh, her mother's voice saying good men, good men, good men. She told him everything, word by trembling word, while tears cut tracks down her face. Sergeant Josh didn't flinch. His jaw tightened. He nodded once and made a call. Chief Harrison was arrested before sunset. Auntie Gladys arrived in the middle of the chaos, took one look at the handcuffs, and screamed that she was innocent. Nobody listened. The nurse confessed. The other workers spoke. Every secret the walls had been keeping broke open at once. Both were sentenced to life imprisonment. When Sylvia's mother arrived from the village and found her daughter in that waiting room, smaller somehow, hollow-eyed, she dropped everything and pulled her into her arms. Before we continue, don't forget that like and subscribe button. Mama, I'm sorry, Sylvia sobbed. No, her mother wept. I'm sorry. I thought you were safe. I thought you were happy. For the first time in almost a year, Sylvia let herself be held. The healing would take a long time. But it had begun.